Hi, this is Pantazi. I got another question, a very interesting one. A couple of years ago, I had a conversation with Patrick McCarthy. You can find it here on YouTube. A good long discussion on mostly the history of karate. It delved into Kyusho just a tad. But one of the questions was somewhere in the film. Hachi McCarthy mentioned that the closed fist was not a part of the martial arts for a long period of time, and then as it developed, it became more of a prominent issue. And the question came up on the YouTube at that point. About this is about 2 years ago now, and I never addressed it because it wasn't my statement to address. But let me get into it just a little bit more. If you look back into the old martial arts of China, there's not a lot of clenched fists. You look at the Wing Chun style, a pretty old one. You look at Pangai Noon. All these have more open-handed techniques, and the open hands are the ones from the Bubishi, the Shaolin hands or the 6G hands. These are the hand methods that were used for the more deadly applications of the martial arts. Now, as it moved to Okinawa, we saw that there was a lot of open hand techniques at the beginning, and then it started to clench the fist. Now, the clenching of the fist was an integration of the techniques of Okinawa and the more grappling arts of the Okinawans as opposed to the striking arts. And then from there it went to Japan, where the Kyusho got removed, and it turned from the China hand karate meaning to the karate meaning empty hand. And they got into the fisted arts. They took the Kyusho out of it with the fisted arts and going more into a pugilistic style, and getting away from the traditions of the Shaolin, the traditions of the vital targets, and the dim mak. Now, the dim mak is a term, okay? It was blood attacks. And I equate that because if you go back into the Bubishi, or you go back into some of the old scrolls like Fujita, which are the ninjutsu scrolls that were handed down, and the different schools that are in there, there's about 20 schools of vital targets that are listed in those Fujita notes. When you look at those targets are all anatomical targets. They're not the pressure points. Now, those anatomical targets are best utilized or best attacked with open hand methodologies. And those, again, are the 6G hands of the Bubishi. So this is why the martial arts originated with more open hand styles and then developed into more of a fisted art because it became more of a sport. So again, it was a combination in Okinawa of doing the old traditions of the Chinese with the old traditions of the Okinawans, or the more grappling arts of the Okinawans that fortified the use of the fist. And most people nowadays look at the fist as a bludgeon rather than a grasping, grabbing action. Say, for example, you take an old Okinawan kata, the very popular kata, is the Nahachi. Nahachi is an all-fisted, very, very few open-hand methods in that. It's mostly fisted arts. You look at that structure of the kata, and that is a grappling kata. Okay, yes, you can strike with it. Of course you can. You can do anything with anything. You can grapple with open-hand techniques as well as you can grapple with closed-hand techniques. You can strike with open-hand techniques as easily as you can strike with a closed fist. But the fist is a bludgeon, whereas the open hand is more of a knife or a stabbing, slicing type of an action. Now, you look at the structure of that Nahachi, and you can see grappling movements. The crossed legs, for example, could be a guard position. The open stance could be a mounted position. So there's a lot of different things that you can see in the grappling arts from Okinawa and from that Nahachi kata. Now, I'm not crediting the Okinawans for developing Nahachi. I believe that to be more of an old Chinese style, formed from two different martial arts. One called Tam Tui, which is the springing leg set, and another one was the mantis type of style, and an open style. But again, the hands closed for more grappling and more simplification, especially as it moved to Japan and got more into a school system training for the younger people to strengthen them up for the military, and also for the sportives that we encompass today. And these striking actions have been more prominent in the fisted arts of Japan and Okinawa, as it's related more to the white crane. The white crane is a yang animal. It has an outward concussive expression. All right, it wasn't the grabbing or the tearing of the tiger techniques, but that's in another film. So thanks for listening, and I'll be back tomorrow.